All right, there we go. We are live to the world.
Good afternoon, Pranam Da. How are you, Kyle?
I'm doing well. How are you? I know you were at BET, the big conference, the biggest of them all for education, so you're probably a little tired. We'll try and
Yeah,
help you out.
I've got my Z's back in over the weekend, so I've caught up on sleep. Saying that, I slept enough at Bet. I was really tired. It was a fun show. It was really cool. Got to meet a lot of teachers and school children from all over the UK who would come over to Bet, and yeah, we could show them all about Adobe Express, and it was really exciting to be there. Yeah, it was fab.
It's cool that I didn't realize that they had brought students as well. That's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been to Bet before either. This is my first Bet. It was, I would say, it was mainly teachers there, but some of them had brought kind of busloads of school kids as well. So that was really cool.
Aha, very nice. I heard that we had some stuffed unicorns that were floating around, and,
Well,
and there's one.
there's one there. Look, there's one there. There's one here. There's a Stardust, not rescued from Bet. Actually, I had this before Bet. I had this in my welcome
Aha.
pack when I joined Adobe. Yeah. There we go.
I heard those are kind of popular.
Yeah. So what are we doing today, Kyle?
It is RNLI Day, which is the Royal Navy Lifeboat Institution, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. So
Um,
yeah, it's the lifeboats here in the UK. That's right. Yeah.
Pretty impressive. Yeah, pretty impressive organization. Exactly 200 years old this year,
Oh, cool.
2024. So that's pretty nice. Nice for us to be celebrating them and celebrating, of course, all the volunteers who make up the majority of the people who are out there saving lives on the water. So we're going to do a
Absolutely.
couple of things, a poster and a little video. And then for you, I know you're going to do for the iPad crowd something a little simpler for that second project. But we should be, yeah, doing some pretty interesting stuff today.
So I'm going to be following along. So Kyle's going to be leading the session on the browser. So if you're working on a Chromebook or a PC or a Mac or whatever, then you're going to be following along with Kyle. And then if you're working on an iPad, then I'm going to be showing you how we can follow Kyle's tasks on the iPad. Yeah, so on the second activity where we're creating a video, Kyle's going to be using some features which are not available on the current iPad version. So hopefully the new iPad app is coming soon, and we will have those features. But we'll be just working on a simpler version on the iPad. I've got the page up here, Kyle, because I couldn't see your screen. So if you want
Thanks for doing
to,
that.
yeah, no, it's fine. So if you want to get to our challenge page, you can see this is the challenge page here. So if you've got a mobile device, you could just use the camera to scan the QR code, which is on your screen right now. But also, you could use the short link. So you can see it there's bit.ly. So we call that just bit.ly/express RNLI. And it's also flying along at the bottom of the screen there. We better talk about the rules. These rules sound really serious. They're not serious. Kyle, what is the first golden rule of Digital Leaders Club?
Right. I've just shared my screen, by the way, now, so I've got control of that. I
Okay.
can
Yeah,
scroll.
brilliant.
First rule. Oh my goodness. Well, folks, sometimes it feels like we're going too fast. That means you can pause and you can always resume and pick up exactly where you left off. We're not going anywhere. So pause if you
Yeah,
need to pause.
yeah, exactly. Pause if you need to pause. Exactly. Saying that, if you were following on the browser, then you will have a chance to catch up whilst I'm showing the same skills on the iPad. So maybe see first of all if you need to pause, because maybe you won't need to by the time I do it all again on the iPad. That may be enough time for
Yeah,
you.
that's true.
Okay.
We try very hard to go at a pace where everybody can follow along, but it's not always possible.
Yeah, and then rule number 2, Kyle.
Rule number 2 is if you are going to complete these challenges and let your teacher know, of course, that you've completed them, then your teacher can let us know, and then we can send you some cool free stuff, some swag. So please
Yeah.
do that.
After this session, Dom will send your teachers out a link to a quick little form. And if your teachers fill that up, then Adobe will send you some free stuff, some cool free stuff. And then rule number 3.
Rule number 3 is actually tacking right onto that idea. If you go on beyond the basics of completing the challenge, if you go and teach somebody else, it could be anybody, a friend, another student, another teacher, whoever, if you teach somebody what you learned today, then guess what? You get extra special swag.
VIP swag. Yeah.
Mhm.
So if you can teach the teachers or teach another class what the skills you've learned today, VIP swag. And also, we forget to mention sometimes, give us your comments, guys. So shout at your teacher that you want them to comment on this video wherever they're watching it. And if we see your comment, we'll give you a shout out, and you can have a little class whoop whoop when we put your comment up on the screen. Okay, fine, right. I'll throw back to your. There we are. We're back on your screen now, Kyle, and you take it away. I'm following your lead today.
Great. Okay, here we go. So RNLI SOS Day, we have our challenges. We have challenge number 1, which is a poster. You see an example of what that would look like right here. We're going to design a poster using photos and graphic elements, replacing the, or representing the waves rather, as torn paper. You'll see how we do that using photographs. We're also
really
going to
cool.
then, yeah, and we've got, by the way, to call out these cool statistics for RNLI. We have a Google Doc, and there is a link that will give you this doc for where you're going to find all of the facts that you need and the statistics for our 2 projects. And the way you get to that, of course, is right here. There is a button, RNLI Facts and Figures.
Cool.
So remember, again, to get to this page, bit.ly/expressRNLI, so that you can then find the link right here to the doc. And that's where you find all this information. And we're going to simply copy and paste it right where we need it. Very simple. All righty. Here we go back to the page. And then the second challenge for today, Meredith, is an animated video. And like we said, for the iPad folks, we'll do something a little simpler. But this is going to be, again, taking advantage of those facts that we have. And I think what we'll do is we'll use a little animate from audio, where you can have a character animate using your own voice. Some cool stuff about this. And we have a couple of facts there, I think 5 or 6, but you can just choose maybe 2 or 3 in the time that we have. And here at the bottom of this page, we have photo assets for you. So you don't have to go hunting around looking for photos. These are all photos from the RNLI. And there's some really nifty ones. I really like this one on the, what are these called again? Jet skis?
Yeah, jet skis. Yeah, cool.
I think that's a cool one. She's reaching out to grab you when you're in the water and make sure that you're safe. That's pretty neat. Have this lifeguard right here. So lots of images to choose from. All right. So there you go. We should get started then. And I'm going to pop on over here to Express. And we're on the home page. Now, you know that there's this top row up here of suggested projects. What we're going to be doing today is a poster. So if you do not see in the suggested projects the option for a poster, you could go to Document, and usually you'll find it there. Here it is. And if you don't see it for some reason, you can always use the little purple plus up here, and you can type what you want. Poster, and there it is. So we'll tap on poster, and now we're ready to start designing our poster. You begin with a blank canvas, and the first thing we want to do is we want to bring in a photograph from this Google Doc. You can also find it there. We have all the photos there for you as well. But here on the RNLI SOS Day page, you can use the photos here. And this is the one I want to use right here in the bottom right corner of this first group. So if I open that up, I'm going to be able to copy that right there, copy image. Now, the way I'm doing that is I'm using Control and click, or you can right click, or if you have a trackpad, you can hold down the Control key on your keyboard and then tap, and you should see the option to copy the image. We'll copy that, and we'll come back to Express, and I'll just paste it. Now, you can use a key command to do this. Control V, hold down Control and hit V. Or again, you could right click and hit paste, or Control click and hit paste. And there's our boat. So that is the first thing I want to do. And this might seem like a strange option, but what I'm going to actually do is remove the background from this boat. Now, you may think that it's a little complicated and complex, right? But we can do it. Here's our little doggy. Tap on the dog. And let's see if Express is intelligent enough. Oh, wow, that's so perfect.
Oh, nice.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. And you'll see here, it's actually removed a little bit of the bottom of the boat where the foam was from the water. And that's exactly what I wanted it to do, because that's going to help me when I add my first wave.
Okay.
Now, before I kick it over to you there, Meredith, I'm going to do something that Dom always gives me a hard time about, which is I'll name my project.
Oh, well done, Kyle. I didn't remember that.
Aha. Top left corner, I'll just write RNLI poster. Okay. There. Now it's not going to be oh, it told me I already used that name somewhere. I'll try again.
Yeah. You can't have duplicate names. So if you ever see that red message on the bottom, guys, you just need to maybe call it RNLI 2024 or whatever you want.
Sure. You can call it anything. You could call it banana. Doesn't matter.
That's not going to help you. Not going to help you find this project, though, Kyle. Right. Are we going over to me?
Yeah, let's go over to you, and
okay,
we will see what happens.
So here we go. I'm on the iPad here. Let's try and get my mouse over. No, it's not happening. Okay, fine. So on the iPad, across the top, you've got this ribbon that you can scroll across. Okay, and if you scroll across, you'll see posters. So I'm just going to hit poster. Now, when I do that, it automatically on the iPad gives you a text box. So I'm just going to select it, and at the bottom there, you can see in the bottom ribbon it says delete. Let's get rid of that. Okay, let's add a photo. Now, I could save the images from Kyle's doc or from the webpage to the camera roll of the iPad, but I'm not going to do that because I think copy and pasting on the browser is a bit easier than it is on the iPad. So I'm just going to use the Adobe stock images. So I've clicked on add, and I'm going to choose Adobe stock. Okay, and I'm just going to search for Lifeboat in here. So in the top right, Lifeboat, and hit return. Okay, and you can see there's loads of options here. Some of them look more like, you know, lifeboats on the side of a ferry or on the side of a cruise ship. That's not what we're going for. But yeah, there's one there that looks okay. But I'd like my boat to be kind of out on the sea. So that one would work there on the right-hand side. Or I quite like this one too. I think I'll go for this guy here. So once you've clicked on the picture you want to add, you select it, and it'll show that it's selected. And at the top of the screen there, next to the search bar where I typed Lifeboat, you can see a little blue text saying add one. So I'm going to click on add one there. So what do I want to do? Well, I want to move this freely because if I choose pin to background, it's actually going to fill my page. But in Kyle's example, the boat is just up at the top of the poster. So I'm going to choose move freely. There we go. I'll just pop that up there. And now let's see. At the bottom ribbon, you can see there under the edit tab, it says remove background. So let's see if this does as good a job as, yeah, there we go. So it's got rid of the background. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's chopped a bit of the bottom of the boat off, but I'm trusting Kyle that that's kind of the thing we wanted it to do.
That's exactly what you want. That's exactly what you want. Don't worry.
Brilliant. There we are. So I'm at the same place as Kyle. So let's go back to Kyle's screen. There we go. And let's see where we're going next.
Okay. Next step, we are going to be using some torn paper to create some waves and then some sections of our poster where we're going to list our statistics.
Oh, that's a really cool idea. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Okay. So we're going to go to search photos, and the photos, I'll say torn paper. And there are, 468 results. I don't know if that's enough for me, but we'll see. And what you're looking for is an edge of the paper that is torn in a way that isn't perfectly straight. It should have a bit of waviness to it. Something like this is fine. Something like this is fine. You'll see there are lots and lots of options to choose from. This is a good one because of the black. I can probably remove the black there if I do remove background. This one is nice because it gives me multiple options. So the key is to find one that's got a little bit of a wavy pattern to it. This one's kind of nice too because it's again, it's got two sides to choose from. You could rotate it for different waves. So let's see. I like a lot of these, and I think
You're gonna have to make a
Yeah.
call now, Kyle.
Yeah, I know it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. I'll give this a try and see what happens when I want to remove the background. I'll see if it removes the black, which is what I'm hoping it will do. Because what's nice about this is the two tones. You get the gray and the white in the paper, which is nice. So if I remove the background, what I'm hoping it's going to do is get rid of the areas that are black. And it's pretty much done that.
Oh, nice.
So that's pretty good right there. All right, now here's the thing we're going to do. I'm going to take this and enlarge it like that. And you see here how you can cover the boat a little bit?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's going to take that area that's white, and then it looks like you've got the boat kind of riding in the foam of the water there. Okay.
But it's actually
Problem
toned
is,
paper. I like that a lot, Kyle. That's really cool.
pretty effective. Now the problem is that, of course, the water shouldn't be gray. But we know how to fix that because here under effects, we have an option to use duotones. These are really handy. And you can use a custom duotone. Okay. Here are the ones that are already available to me. If I were to tap on blue, I could get that, or green, or whatever. These are quite nice. But you can also, if you want, use a custom one. And if you tap on this option for custom, you can decide if the darker colors in the photo are one color and the lighter colors are another color. And that's why it's called a duotone, because you're using two colors. So I'll go to the custom options here. And for my shadows, I'll use this nice dark blue like this. And for my highlights, I'll also use a blue, but I'm going to make it lighter like that. Push the shadows a little darker. You can control this to go greener, more purple and blue, up to you. But this is a pretty cool way to color an image in a very simple fashion. Now, what I'm going to be doing is using several of these bars of color to separate out, if you remember from our poster here, to separate out where our facts are here for our statistics. Now, if you look at the example, I've got some white foam up at the top. So what I'm going to do is this top bit here is going to be lighter than the bottom bits that control the information, all right? But before I get to all that, I want to make my life easy, and I want to, at this stage, just duplicate what I've created here, and then I can worry about coloring these different bits later.
Okay.
And so to do that, I select it, and over here you have options for your image, and the second one from the left is this, duplicate. It's got two squares on top of each other with a little plus sign. And the great thing about this image being large is I can do this. Look, I can drag it and change the pattern of the waves. You can change the angle slightly if you want.
Yeah,
right?
I like that
Things
because
like
it doesn't. It's not obvious that you've duplicated the shape. It looks like a brand new shape.
And not only that, but because of this image being something that you can rotate, right? You could use the bottom bit of it and do something completely different like that. Now remember,
Yeah.
I'm going to have some white up there at the top. So I'm taking this first copy, this duplicate, and I'm bringing it up quite a ways, because that's going to contain my first fact, right? And I'm noticing now that as I look at everything, I need room for 4 of these, okay? It's probably going to be necessary for me to take all of this stuff and just move it up slightly, all right? So I'll go ahead and I'll select everything, and you can do that by dragging over all of your objects. And on the iPad, this will be different. Although, you know, Meredith might have been smarter than me and probably placed it in a better location, but we'll see.
I'm just gonna move my boat up right now.
Good idea. Good idea. Then you won't have to select anything more than one object. There we go. And the other thing I'm going to do is take the boat, make it a little smaller, and I'm going to pull it over here to the left, because I'm remembering that in my original design, I had some nice space here for some type. Okay. So we'll take this then, this wave here. Actually, I'll do this. I'll drag it over here.
And there's a term for that as well, isn't there, Kyle? Like, is it called kind of leading space, or what do we call that? Because the boat is traveling from left to right, we want to have space on the right-hand side. What is that called, Kyle? I'm sure you know.
There is a great design principle for that if you're trying to lead the eye and show directional movement, but I don't know what it's called.
Okay, sorry.
So no, but
Okay.
I'm glad you brought it up because it's definitely a principle of design that is really helpful. So yes, by showing that there's more open space on the right, we infer, especially from the direction of the boat in which it's facing, that we're moving in that direction. All right, so we have this second copy. Now this is the one I'm going to duplicate and just pull down. You can always flip things horizontally if you like, right here, like that. That makes a nice little change. We'll have room in there for a statistic. Okay, here's number 2. Duplicate it again. Maybe flip it horizontally. That could just be the simple little technique I use here.
Yeah,
Maybe drag
that's
it
the
over this
quickest way.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so easy. And then we just need one more. We'll have 1, 2, 3, and then a fourth statistic. And duplicate and pull. Now I'm realizing I've actually got enough space. I should be fine. So if I feel like repositioning these a little bit, no worries. Should be just fine.
That looks really cool.
And there we are. Now each of these you can change the color slightly by tapping on one, going to your effects, right? And in the custom options, right here, you can just drag the hue. See that? I can make it a little greener.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can alternate, do what you want. That's the basic idea. So we're almost there. We've almost finished our graphic. Really, really fast, really simple, and then we can get to our statistics. So I'll pass it over to you, and then we'll carry on.
Yeah, well, I'm a little behind. So
Mhm.
so I've got my boat. Now I've moved it over because as we were talking about there, it's good to kind of have space in the direction that something is traveling into. But then it is a little bit funny to me. I feel that it needs to be going left to right. So I'm going to flip my boat horizontally. So on the iPad, we can flip it horizontally by going to adjust on the bottom ribbon and then flip H, flip horizontal. There we go. Great. Right. So let's find our tone paper. So we're going to click on add, and then I'm going to go into Adobe stock. And in here, I'm going to search for tone paper, search. Okay. And I'm looking for something similar to what Kyle had there. And I think that second one across the top looks good. Maybe that third
Yeah.
one down on the left, that also looks good. And this one, fifth one down on the left looks good as well. I might try that one, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to hit add one in the top right next to the search bar, and that's going to pop that. So I'm going to move it freely. There we go. So let's remove the background. So I've got that selected, and I'm going to go at the bottom ribbon into edit, remove background. Cool. So looking at my tone paper here, it's got a more a more untidy tone edge on the bottom side. So I think that's going to look good
Yeah. That looks
bumping up
great.
on the bottom of the boat. So I think I'm going to rotate my boat a bit as well. There we go. So let's bring this up a little bit like this. I think my boat needs to be a bit bigger, Kyle, I think,
Yeah.
because that texture on the paper is kind of hiding a bit too much of it there, I think. There we go. Something like that works for me. Yeah. Okay. So then what did Kyle do? He added a dual tone filter. So I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to go to, I think it's going to be looks. Yeah. Okay. So under looks, we've got dual tone. So I'm going to hit dual tone there, and then you press dual tone again to open up the options. And I could click on the button again. So you can see that on the bottom left. There we go. And now I can choose shadows and highlights exactly as Kyle did. Okay. So shadows, I'm going to go for a custom color here. So I'm going to come over and let's go for a dark cold blue. There we go. And then for the highlights, I'm going to come over and grab a lighter blue there. Okay. Yeah, that's working okay for me at the moment. So now I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm going to hit done on that. Choose my paper, and then under edit, I've got duplicate.
I'll stop you there, Maretta. Just as before you go too far, I
Yeah.
want to make sure that you have plenty of room at the top for your title.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Thanks.
so you don't
Yeah.
have to select a whole bunch of things. Yeah, there
Thank
we go.
you for that, Kyle. Thank you.
Yeah. Now you're in
So,
good shape.
okay, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to bring this up because Kyle had tucked it quite tight because that top layer of paper, we're actually going to turn into waves. So this one that I'm working on now, this second one, let's just flip that horizontal.
Nice.
And let's just, actually, I'm going to, yeah, there we go. Just do that. There we go. It looks different. Good. Let's duplicate this. So we're going to select, edit, oh, I just pressed delete instead of duplicate. Let's undo that, top right. And let's duplicate this time, not delete, guys. They are very close together. So let's spin this around this time just to get some different texture. And I'm going to resize it a bit as well.
Cool.
There we go. Just want to see as much of those edges as I can. And then duplicate again. And this time I'm just going to go into edit, adjust, and I'm going to do flip horizontal and flip vertical.
Oh, nice.
So I go 1, 2, 3, and I need one more, right? So I'm going to go edit, duplicate, and I think I'll take the bottom edge again this time. So I'll go to adjust, and then flip vertical. And maybe we'll just make that really big so that we can just concentrate on one little section of the torn paper.
Very nice.
Okay. Oh, yeah. And then in terms of changing colors, so then what Kyle did there was he kind of grabbed one of them and we're going to go into looks. We go in there, customize this. And now I'm going, so my color tends to depend more on the highlights rather than the shadows because I didn't really, so Kyle's paper, if you remember, had a kind of distinct gray and white, whereas mine is mostly light. So I'm not going to have as much of a difference between the two colors as Kyle's got. So I'm actually going to change the highlight. You can see that mainly my color is that highlight color. So I'm going to, yeah, actually, do you know what? I'm going to switch them on this one. There we go. That'll just do that absolutely fine. And then I'll grab another one. And again, I'm going to go into duotone here and I'm going to just switch them on this one. But then I'm going to change that highlight color to a greener hue. There we go. Cool. So I'm kind of getting there. So let's go and pop over to Kyle's page and see what the master is doing next.
Well, this is really easy. You just saw what Meredith was doing with it. I'm doing the same thing here with this very topmost one, where I'm just going to make it pretty much white. I'll go to the effects again. And for the duotone, what you're going to see me do with the shadows here is just bring them up way up here. Okay. And I want to have a tiny bit of contrast, but not much. You can see that there. And for the highlights, I'm just going to push it almost all the way to white. Okay, cool. So it's getting quite close. And that's really supposed to be sort of my foam, if you will, there. Make this a bit more blue. And that'll be a nice little point of separation. And then this is really easy. Under media, instead of torn paper, I'm going to search for cloudy sky.
Yeah, cool.
There's so many great options, really. You could just do whatever you like here. Could be anything you want. I'm going to pick this one because it's kind of dramatic. And I'm going to, over here on the right side where you can see all of my layers, tap and hold on that and just drag it down behind everything else so that now it's behind the boat, it's behind the water. I can resize it and just pop it up there. And now we've got our dramatic sky.
Yeah. And it really makes that white paper pop underneath.
It does. Yeah, it's very handy. There we go. So there is our sky. And the next thing remaining to do is to just add a title. So we've added a photo there for the sky. We've changed the foam. And what is this poster about? It's statistics for the RNLI. So here under text, let's just add text. There we go. I'll just go ahead and type what I want for now. I'll use all capital letters because it's a poster and it's the big title to statistics. And then for the, I'm not going to use all capitals. I'll just do for the. All right, now this is certainly not the most exciting looking type you've ever seen. It's going to live up here.
Yeah.
The size of it. Okay, so we need to do something a bit nicer with this. So I'll select it, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at our recommended fonts. What does Express think would look good here? So this is quite bold. That's quite nice. You know, all kinds of options.
Yeah.
I think to keep it simple, this might be quite good right here.
Yeah.
Statistics for the. Now, the for the doesn't have to be that big. So I'll select it and move back to my options here. And I can change the size by tapping here on the little minus. And I can just tap and hold till I get it somewhere like that. And I'm looking at the space between this T and the STA. That looks a little funny. Let me select everything. And here, where there's an arrow next to some lines, you can control things like letter spacing. You can make it tighter, looser. And even if I tighten it, it still has a really funny, weird space between statistics. So for now, I'll leave it just because I can easily change the font. But what I'm going to do in the meantime is change the line spacing too. See this? You can make that a little tighter.
Yeah, cool.
There's not so much breathing room. And let's go back to the recommended fonts. And now that we've got it where we want, you'll notice that Express is showing us the fonts in exactly the same layout as what I have on the poster. So there won't be any guesswork.
Yeah, it's like an audition for fonts, isn't it? I really like that.
I like that. I've never heard that. That's great. This is a lot better spaced. So we'll try that. Statistics for the. Great. All right, let's go back here. I'll open up that letter spacing a little bit so it's not too tight. And for the, maybe I could even see, do we have other options for this? Oh, look at this. You have in the family some other options. For example, you have oblique for the. That's nice. And oftentimes oblique just means italicized, italic. Okay. All right. Statistics for the. Let's make it white. Let's make it pop. Go to swatches. All right, now, can you read that? I don't know. It looks a little light to me. It's okay.
Yeah, it's a bit tough with the clouds.
So what can we do? We have multiple options. You could, if you want, with the type, you could add a shadow to the type. You could give it an outline that's darker. There are all kinds of things you could do. But what I'm going to do is select the photo itself of the sky back here. See that? Just grab that photo. And remember that we have some cool options to edit the photo. Right here under adjustments, I'm going to bring the brightness down, bring the highlights down. See that?
Oh, yeah, cool.
And bring the contrast down and bring the shadows down. So what we're doing here is we're taking the whole thing and darkening it up, basically.
Would you maybe flip that image horizontally to get that dark patch of sky underneath your text, Kyle?
Brilliant. Brilliant idea. Look at that. Look at that. Marada to the rescue. That's how you do it.
I don't think your design needed rescuing, Kyle. I think you're doing quite well.
I thought no, but that was a great idea. Look what that did, folks. That really took care of business. Let's make that a little smaller because statistics for the is great, but the big topic here is RNLI. So I want RNLI to be much, much bigger. I'll just add some text again, and then I'll pass it over to you after I add the RNLI. So here we go. R.N.L.I. And we're going to make this super chunky. Let's go to view all and see what kind of options we have. Wow, there's chunk. That's nice and chunk. Looking for chunky type. I like it.
That's
show a couple more to see if I'm missing out on any options here. What's that?
I like the it chunky, but also old school because it's been around for so long.
Hey, that's true, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
There it
cool.
is.
I like that.
We'll make that bigger. And look, the boat's orange. Why not make the type orange? After all, orange is the color we all associate with this organization. If you don't like the orange, go ahead and make it a little redder, make it brighter, make it whatever you want it to be. It can be the orange that you want. There we go. So we have a nice little grouping here. Statistics for the RNLI. And you can group that all together if you want by selecting one, holding down the shift key, selecting another. You can size it all up and down and make it whatever you like and just let it sit there. And so far, that's doing it for me. That works pretty well. There's more things I could do with the type, but I want to pass it over to you, Meredith, so we can catch up on the iPad.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I really like that. Okay, so here we go. So let's get my sky in first. So I'm going to click on Add, bottom left there, and then I'm going to go to Adobe Stock again. Okay, and then at the top right, I'm going to search in here for cloudy sky. Cloudy sky, search, and let's see what we get. Yeah, there's a lot of moody sky going on here, and I like this one right at the top there. So I'm going to click on that, select it, and then I'm going to hit Add One. And I'm going to move this freely. Actually, no, I'm just going to pin it to the background, and then I don't need to mess around with layers. So pin to background. Oh, it's there. Okay, cool. So I could mess around with it, but you know what? It works for me. Right, I need to turn this top layer of paper into white. So let's change the duotone on that. So let's just change my highlights to, we're just going to go for that white. There we go, that's fine. And my shadows, I'm just turn it to this kind of off gray. That works, that's fine. Okay, cool. Click done on that. Okay, click done. Oh, my done button isn't working here, huh?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
The done button is done.
We're back. All right, okay, so that's looking fine. I would like my boat to be a little bit higher up, but the problem is that when I removed the background, it did kind of take a lot of my boat off. So maybe if I was going to spend longer on it, which I'm not, you could maybe get another piece of paper just to kind of get a bit more white under your boat, so that it's not so low in the waves. But I'm not going to do that right now. That's something you guys can.
It's a very stormy sea, so maybe
It
it's
is,
just,
yeah,
up and down and it's in the water.
Okay, let's get my text in then. So I'm going to click on Add, and we can choose text. Okay, and it is statistics for the, so statistics for the. Now then, this one's just for the iPad peeps. Kyle, I don't know if you've seen this before, but on the iPad, we can go to, not font, we can go to, where is it? Style, right over on the right-hand side. Hang on, let's try that again. Click on it, choose style. Right, do you see at the bottom of my screen under style, we've just got this spinner.
Huh.
Now, if I spin my finger on this spinner, it's just going to spin around.
Cool.
And it's going to give me endless suggestions.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? For cool layouts for that
I see
text.
some good ones.
Yeah. So I will just usually just stay here for about 5 minutes solid, just doing this, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna have to decide on one now. So I don't mind that, but I think it would be better if it was aligned to the left. There we go. And then I'm going to tuck RNLI in to that space.
I like that. I like that layout better. I like that. The way you block it in with the RNLI just under on the right. That's smart.
Well, it's not me. That's just Express kind of giving me ideas. So that's what I like about that kind of spinner. You know, it gives you some ideas. So let's do that. Let's pop this up here. Let's work on where it's going to fit in. Now, what's cool as well is that although I've used that spinner, it's just a starting point. So I could still go and change my font because I'm not over the moon with that font. You know, it's not amazing. So I might just go for, I do like Harman, but I feel that I've seen it too much on Express projects. Do you agree, Kyle?
I see it a lot.
Yeah, and once I see a font a lot, it just makes me feel like I don't want to use it. That's just me, though.
Yeah, I know that feeling. And, you know, fonts come and go like fashions too.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. So let's get my, so I'm going to click done on that, and let's add new text, and then we're just going to put RNLI. So Kyle put full stops in between, so we'll do the same thing. RNLI, done. And I really want this font to look different, so I want it to be a bit messier. Looks like it's been kind of spray painted on the side of a boat or something. No, not that. Maybe this. Yes, cool. And then we'll go into color. So the text I want to be orange. So let's scroll over. We got that there. And then we've got the outline, which I would like to be white. Cool. Let's just click done. Let's spin that around a bit. Let's zoom in. Let's get that up there. Yeah, I need to move this text over. There we go. Now we're cooking. I'm going to do something like that. Yeah, I'm going to need to play around with this a bit more, I think, Kyle, but there we go. I think just want to frame that R with that.
I like this idea. I like the, it's nice to work with type as a design element and really try and make it do more than just simply sit there on the page. That's always great thing to do.
Yeah, cool. Right. I think I'm kind of there. Let's go back to Kyle. There we go.
All right, here we go. So we need some statistics. Let's do it. Go to our RNLI Day Google Doc. And here you'll find the statistics, 143,000 plus lives saved. So I'll copy that number. And I'll remember we're saying lives saved. All right, here we go. Back to the poster. This font is working for me just fine. I can duplicate it. There we go. Let's bring it down here. And we will say lives saved. All right, now we need the number, which I'll use this font for. Just duplicate that. And I believe it was 43,000 plus. Am I right?
100.
Oh, 143,000. Yeah. Goodness gracious. Whew. Now, 143K is what I'll write, because that's a good way to abbreviate for 1,000.
143K. Are you doing the plus?
Don't need the, yeah, I'm getting rid of it. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that little full stop there. Plus.
Yeah.
Very nice. And there we have our first statistic, 143,000 plus live saved. Live saved, I'm going to change the color. So it reads very clearly here. And I'll just use a darker color. Now we do have some nice blues and things like that. So I'll select the blue using my eyedropper tool. See this little guy right here? Use your eyedropper tool, select the color. And under custom swatches, I'll just make that color a lot darker, but it's in the same family, so it feels like it lives there very nicely. 143 plus live saves. And you know what I think I'll do? I think I'll make this all capital letters because just more dramatic. Boom.
Cool.
143,000 plus lives saved. That's our first statistic. Now, if I take both of these by selecting one, holding down the shift key, I can slide it over here until I get that nice long vertical pink line. That's telling me, Kyle, you are in the center of the page, and that looks really good. Now, just grab both of them and duplicate again. And now you just go on down the page and swap out the text for whatever else you have in your statistics. 24/7 hours of operation. Come over here. We do 24/7. We select this. We say hours of operation. You can even do HRS of operation if you want. We'll slide this over here. Select both of them. And remember, we're looking for that nice long vertical. There we go. Very nice. And you just go on down the way and get all of your statistics in there by copying and pasting. Very simple. Yeah, and that's pretty much the poster over here, Meredith. I might not go through doing both of the last ones since we know what we're doing, but I will do one quick little detail here before I pass it over to you, which is this. Under photos, I'm going to search for a seagull.
Yeah.
Because it's really fun to add seagulls to any kind of ocean scene. Here's a nice one. I just think it's a nice touch. And it's fun to have things, work with or overlap your type, so I could throw the seagull right there and he could even, that wing could be touching the R.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I love that.
and he can't be on a white background. Let's remove the background. Click on the doggy, and then we'll have a nice seagull here. Ta-da! Statistics for the RNLI. Boom, 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 boom. And there's your informational poster. So I'll kick it back over to you.
Okay, so here I am. So I've already been following along there.
Nice.
So what was the third fact that we had there on the?
Well, the third one was 200 years in service.
Okay, fine, cool. So just show you how I did this. Okay, so I didn't really change up my RNLI font. I've duplicated that for the 143,000 plus and the 24/7. So let's just do that again. So I'm going to choose the RNLI font up at the top. And then under edit, I'm going to choose duplicate. Okay, so there we go. I've got that duplicated. So I'm going to drag that down. So this is 200 years of service. So I'm going to double click on that and then change that to 200 years. So you could just do YRS. It's kind of an abbreviation for years. So 200 years and then of service. So what I did for this black text that I've got in each section is I duplicated the statistics for the up in the title. So let's just show you how I did that. So I select that text and then I'm going to duplicate that, bring it down. So this needs to say of service. So double click, of service, done. Now you notice the color isn't correct. So if I go to color in the bottom ribbon, I've got this little shuffle button next to my colors. So I've got text is currently white with a black outline and black shadow, but you can just spin those around by clicking on the shuffle. So that's what I did there. Now, if I do resize this box, it is gonna put some things onto different lines because it's kind of like that dynamic layout. So yeah, I think that works fine for me. So let's get the seagull in as well, and then we'll have caught up with Kyle. So let's click done on that, and I'm going to go to add. I'm going to go into Adobe Stock, and I'm going to search for seagull. Do you know that seagull is one of a few English words that actually has its root in Welsh, Kyle? You can,
I did not know that.
Yeah, it comes from the Welsh gwylan, which is seagull. Yeah.
Cool. Gwylan.
Gwylan, yeah.
Gwylan.
And the most fun one, if we're talking about birds, is, penguin.
Yeah.
So that in Welsh, pen is head, and gwyn is the Welsh word for the color white. So penguin actually comes from Welsh, and I think it was Francis Drake. So Francis, I don't know if you've heard of Francis Drake. He was a famous sailor back in the time of Elizabeth I.
Francis Drake, yes.
Yes, Sir Francis Drake. And I'm sure it was Francis Drake who was on an expedition, and they came across these birds that nobody'd seen before. And he said something like, they obviously tried to eat everything that they saw. So he said, many were the fowl which the Welsh sailors called penguin.
Haha.
Yeah.
Cool.
So the word penguin literally just means white head in Welsh. Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, there we are. A little bit of throw in a bit of Welsh language for you there in the middle whilst we're talking about gulls and penguins. Right. Cool. Sorry, I went off on a random one there, Kyle. So
I'm going to head over to do some Jeopardy now.
Yeah. So we'll go back to Kyle. So I've got my gull in there, overlapping the L a little bit, and it fills up that space next door to statistics.
Very nice design there. I love it.
Cool. There we are. We're back with you, Kyle.
All right, we're all good. And all we have to do now is download a PNG. If you download a PNG, you'll be able to save it anywhere you like and send it to your friends. And then if you also want to simply share a link to this image, go to share. And under here, you can publish to the web. So that's very simple to do as well. And there is your RNLI statistics poster.
Cool.
All right, we learned a few things there. Fun with type, fun with torn paper to make some waves. And just in the future, think about that. Think about ways you can use collage techniques in your design and make certain things look like other things. It's a fun thing to do. I'm going to head back to our home page for challenge number 2 so that we can make a little video with Animate from Audio. Okay. To start with, I want to make a video, and but knowing that I'm going to use Animate from Audio, I'm actually going to start with that option. So here in the purple plus, I'm just going to type ANIMATE.
Yeah.
Oh,
so just,
sorry. I think I have to go to quick actions. There it is.
Yeah, quick action. Yeah, so just so you know, guys, so I'll be following along on the iPad, but obviously I won't be able to do some of the things that Kyle's showing, but we're going to make a simple video. If you are following on the iPad, you do need to make sure you've got the Spark video app installed, because
do you want to show that really quickly?
No, I think it's okay. I mean, the first challenge, we were using the Adobe Express app, but if we want to make the video, we need the Spark video app. But also, if you're on an iPad and you're thinking, oh no, because if Kyle and Meredith are doing 2 totally different things, you're welcome to drop off as well here, guys, okay? And just complete the first challenge if you're on the iPad. But I will be doing a simple version of what Kyle's doing. Okay, sorry, Kyle, you carry on.
Also, for those of you who do make a poster or anything you make today, please go ahead and share it by posting on Twitter. The teachers want to share the work they're doing or have any photos of the kids going ahead and doing these activities. We'd love to see that. I love seeing that. And recently people have been posting them for us to see, and it's really cool. So thanks for doing that. So here we are under quick actions. Animate from Audio is the very first one. I'll just tap on that. What this does is it pulls up a module here. This is it's part of Express, but it's its own little sort of thing. And there's going to be a whole bunch of characters here that I can choose from to narrate whatever I say with my voice. All right, so we just talked about penguins, so I've got to use Waddles right here. There is Waddles the penguin. All righty, now Waddles is going to be in my video. Now later I can place him wherever I want in the video after I've recorded some of my dialogue. So let's take Waddles here and let's go to our RNLI Google Docs. And here we have some facts. The Royal National Lifeboat Institute is a charity that provides life-saving and search services around the UK and Ireland. What I'll do is I'm going to take this text and I can copy and paste it somewhere on my computer where I can see it very clearly, or I can open it in a separate window, and I might just do that. So let's do this. I'll bring it over here. All right. And I'll come back here to Express. I'm going to make this window a little smaller, like so. I'll bring this back over here. All right, now I'll be able to see what it is I need to write, read. There we go. All righty. This is what I'm going to read, the Royal National Lifeboat. All right, now I'm going to read just 3 of these to keep things nice and simple. And I'm going to record my voice to do this. Now, if you're in a crowded classroom, if there's background noise and things like that, and you're using the microphone on your Chromebook or on your laptop, whatever you're using, you can tap right here on this option, Enhance Speech. This will make it so that it tries to limit or reduce the background noise in your recording, okay? I'm in a quiet room at the moment, so I'm not going to do that. When I hit record, I'll start reading these one by one. Here we go. The Royal National Lifeboat Institute is a charity that provides life-saving and search service around the UK and Ireland. The RNLI was founded in 1824. RNLI lifeboats rescued more than 5,000 people during World War I. Now, I've gone ahead and hit done. These are my 3 facts I've chosen. And what Animate from Audio will now do in Express is it will process that audio, and then it will try and time the movement of the penguin's mouth to the things that I'm saying. So while it's doing that,
yeah, do you know in Bet last week, Kyle, we
Yeah.
demoed this, and you can do this in school, guys, with all the noise going on around you, as long as you tick that enhance speech button underneath the record button. We did it in Bet, where we had the whole stand, everybody who was listening to the presentation, they were all shouting whilst we were recording the voiceover, and it filtered it all out. It is
No way.
crazy good. Yeah. So don't worry about getting a quiet room, guys. If you're going to record, just, hit record, make sure you got the enhanced speech on, and it'll get rid of all the noise in the background, even if everybody's recording at once. It really is. I think it's witchcraft. I don't think it's code. I think it's powered by magic, to be honest.
That's pretty amazing. Wow. I'm impressed. You'll notice, by the way, I'm almost done. When it gets to 100%, I'm going to be able to start a project based on what's here. And it's really as simple as that. Here you see, open in Adobe Express to add filters, text, animations, and more. So now what it's doing is uploading it so that I'll be able to use it in my video. This is the option you want. Open in editor. Okay. Tapping on that is going to open my timeline. Some of you may be familiar with this if you've used our video editing in the past in Express. And it's going to then add my little talking penguin as an element of the video. It'll be a layer in and of itself that I can move around and reposition as I wish. There he is. Ta-da! Pretty simple. Cool. Yeah. So do you want me to pass it over to you before I carry on?
No, I think you carry on, Kyle, because us guys on the iPad, we can't do this. So we'll see where you're going with it next, and then maybe I'll jump in when we've got something to do.
Okay, feel free. Feel free. And a lot of you who are on the iPad might have access to a laptop at home or elsewhere where you could try something like this as well. And remember, we're bringing these video editing features to the iPad and iPhone versions of Express soon. And the team is working hard on that. The engineers it's a tough job, but they're doing it. Now, I'm going to just stop sharing for a moment, Meredith, just so I can share just this tab so people can hear the audio playback. So bear with me for a moment here.
Yes, of course. Yeah, no props. Yeah.
All righty, let's see here. Remove this. Now you can see our happy faces. I can do a little magic trick for you. Whoa! Pull that out of my nose. Don't
what I really like, so Kyle's getting the screen up. What I really like about Animate from Audio as well is what it does. It not only does a lip sync, but it actually listens to the inflections of your voice. It listens to the tone of your voice and the volume of your voice. And based on that, it's going to decide on the head and body movements of your character as well. So it's going to lip sync the character's mouth to whatever you've said. But it's also listening out to how excited you sound. And I've even noticed as well is if you ask a question, then some of the characters, they do a little shrug when you ask a question. So it's really clever how it does that. We haven't even watched yours back yet. I think you're holding it back for the big reveal. Is that right?
Well, let's check it out. Here we go. And hopefully you'll be able to hear the audio now. The Royal National Lifeboat Institute is a charity that provides life-saving and search service around the UK and Ireland. The RNLI was founded in 1824. RNLI lifeboats rescued more than 5,000 people during World War I.
I think that is so cool. That's so cool.
It's pretty fun. All right. And just so you know, one of the features I've asked the team to please develop is in the future some way for us, all of us, students, anybody, to draw their own characters and then bring them to life with this feature. I think that would be so cool. So that's something we need to do. All right. So here is the penguin. We're all set. But you'll notice that, of course, we need a background. We need more stuff going on, right?
Absolutely.
So here we fortunately have our RNLI SOS Day photos down here at the bottom. And I can do whatever I like. I think this is pretty nifty right there. We've got this one. That's really cool. Maybe we'll just start with that one. Go ahead and copy the image back here. I'm going to copy the image, and you may not have seen what I was doing because I'm not sharing that tab, but I copied an image of somebody rescuing someone in their jet ski right there. I'm going to pull that behind the penguin, and we'll enlarge that like so. Then we can take the penguin, and just like anything else you use in Express as a graphics asset, you can take the penguin and you can flip it horizontally. Look at that. And make them a little bigger. There. I'm going to cut off the bottom there where I don't want to see that shadow. Oh, actually, you know what? You hear now. This is something fun we could do. Watch this. We're going to be really clever here, gang.
What are you going to do? What's Kyle got planned here?
Oh, you'll see. So we'll take our penguin and actually make it smaller. Okay. And then we're going to go to our elements, shapes. And the very first shape we usually had is just a plain circle here. You might not be able to see it right now. It's taking a moment to load. There we go. And I'm going to take the shape and I'm just going to elongate that, pop it over here, rotate it a little bit, and use it as a sort of element for him to stand on. It's sort of like a little stage, you know?
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And then I'm going to change the color. Something like that. Let's see how that looks underneath our penguin. Now, we need something that's lighter than the shadow. So maybe I'll even just play with it until I like what I see. That looks kind of nice.
Yeah.
So now we've got our character standing separated from the image. That looks pretty cool. And you could even take the image. And remember, we have options for animation right here. And if I press the in, we can have it drop in like that. We could have it fade in. We can have it, let's go back to animation. We can do, we don't want that fade in. Hang on. Go back to animation. Blah, blah, blah. Wait. I want something else. Trash it. Okay. Go back to animation. We have options for in, bungee, drift. It'll show you each of these as you go and just mouse over them. Okay. Have it rise. I like that. Alrighty. Boom. And then you can see what that looks like with your video. So if I hit play again, we'll move. This is called a scrubber.
Yeah.
Pull it all the way back. The Royal National Lifeboat Institute is a charity. There we go.
Cool.
Now, for each of these scenes, I can use a different photo or maybe even use video if I want. And the reason when I recorded my voice, I paused was so I would have room for transitions.
Yeah, great. I tell you what, Kyle, let's get the iPad folks started off maybe now because
great, let's do it.
This looks really fab. Okay, so here we go. I'm on the dashboard. This is the Adobe Spark video app. Okay, so if we're going to start a new video project, you just click on the big plus on the bottom of your screen. Okay, and I'm just going to skip to the editor. And what we're going to do here is in scene one, I'm just going to record the first fact. So the first fact that Kyle read out for us was the RNLI is a charity that provides life-saving and search service around the UK and Ireland. Okay, so I'm going to hold my finger down on this microphone icon whilst I'm speaking. Okay, so here we go. The RNLI is a charity that provides life-saving and search service around the UK and Ireland. And then I just let my finger go. So you can see there that I've got 9 seconds recorded there. So let's just get let's just get an image for that. So I'm going to click on the plus in the middle there. And then I'm going to search for photo. Okay. And then we're going to search for find free photos. And again, in here, I'm going to search for Lifeboat. I'm pretty sure that there are actually some images that pop up under RNLI as well. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So let's go. This one looks very dynamic. So let's get that in there. Okay. And then I'm going to add a scene. So I'm going to click done there. Okay. And to add a scene at the bottom of my screen, you can see all the way over on the right-hand side, there's the plus button. So I'm going to click on that. And here's my second scene. So I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to record my voiceover first. Okay, so, and Kyle's second fact was there are 223 RNLI lifeboats in the fleet. So I'm just going to record that. So I'm going to hold my finger down on the microphone. There are 223 RNLI lifeboats in the fleet. Let it go. That's 7 seconds long. And let's get an image in for that. So it's still got that RNLI search in there. So I want to see maybe a picture that shows that there are more than one. I quite like this one up here. It shows, yeah, that suggests that there's a lot of them, doesn't it, Kyle?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, cool. So I'll pop over to Kyle now, but basically iPad guys, what I would do if I was you now is I would just continue adding a scene for every one of the facts that Kyle has got in that sheet. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Okay, so I would add 6 scenes and record the voiceover for each one separately and add an image in the background. Remember as well, the images, you can search for Lifeboat like I did over in the first activity, and you'll have more options than just the ones that you'll get for RNLI. Finally, on the iPad version, you do have the credits page, okay, and the outro page, which, you know, you will basically tell you where you got your images from. Okay, but you can also type your own credits. So you could say there, put your name there. So by, and I'll put my name, Meredith Jones, in there. Okay, and it'll automatically tag the images that you've used, which is really cool from a kind of copyright and acknowledgement point of view.
Nice.
Okay, so yeah, so that's that's what we're going to do. So we can't create the character, but what's nice on the iPad version is that you can record the voiceover into each slide separately really easily. Okay,
very nice.
So we'll pop back over to Kyle now, but from the iPad point of view, I mean, there's not much more. We might add a bit of text, but really we're kind of there on the iPad. Just build up your scenes. Okay. Oops, sorry, I just threw you out to the stream there, Kyle, instead of adding your screen.
Oh, I'll add it. There we go.
There we go. Okay, so we're back with you, Kyle, and let's see where you're going next.
No worries. And also, I like the idea of adding text, and that's something I'm going to do. What I want to show you is that what I'm going to be doing here is for each scene, adding another photo. And you might be wondering, well, how do you know when to add that photo? Here at the bottom, you'll see that there's the show layer timing toggle. If I turn that off, this is where we normally start. You just see your entire timeline with no indication of where your layers are appearing or disappearing, but you can actually bring them in at different times. So we're starting with our penguin and our photo. Now you don't see the photo in the first frame of our video because it's animating in. But once I move this toggle, I'm sorry, the scrubber, you'll see, whoop, there it comes, okay? Now it sits there for a while. Let's go to show layer timing and turn it on. Now, if I select this image, you will see that it has its own handles on the right and on the left that allow me to drag either way and position this along the timeline. So if you look at this right here, see that it disappears for a moment? Well, it's gone now because I chose to only have it endure for that period of time. This second image, also from that website we built for you, okay? Right here is the layer in my layer stack. And you'll see that it has its own timing. Now, if I look in the middle, okay, of the beginning and end points, I can move it along, right? Now, let's say, for example, I put it over there. Well, look, now there's nothing there for a good long chunk. Okay, so I want to make sure that it appears when the other image disappears. So as I drag it, Express is very smart. It's going to snap right here into a position where one image ends and the next begins. So it knows that this is where you have something has ended. Now something new will begin. Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
And you can even have it overlap a little ways further and then maybe have it animate in on top of the other one. So as he's finished talking here, I can have that start to animate in. I can, if I watch the penguin, look, I can see his mouth moving. See that? Now I know, oh, look, he stopped talking and he's saying nothing for a minute there. So I know that that's where I didn't say anything. So this is how you can use this as a sort of cue. And why don't we go ahead and add some animation as before. We'll animate in, see what kinds of options we have. Spin, tumble, that looks kind of silly. Shrink again, rise, pop. I like that. Let's do pop. Okay. Now, if we look here, we go, whoop, pop, there it is. And let's see if our timing is correct with the speaking. Okay, here we go. Saving and search service around the UK and Ireland. Perfect. Now we go to the second fact. The RNLI was founded in 1824. All right, there you go. And then there's another pause. RNLI lifeboats rescued more than 5,000 people during World War I. Okay. Now, I know that I stopped talking there, so I can actually take the whole movie and just shrink it a little bit. And here I may choose, instead of using one of the lifeboat images, to use something from World War I. Because, of course, we have access to stock. So let's go ahead and look at our media.
That's
and not
cool.
just look at, instead of photos, let's go to videos. And I'll search WW1, see what that comes up with. Whoops, maybe I have to actually write it out. Hold on. World War I. Now we have some videos. Video. This is something having to do with a veteran. Peace. This is probably something having to do with where some fighting occurred, etc.
Yeah, I wonder if warship would show up something.
Oh, that's a great idea. Let's see, warship. Aha! Wow, good call.
And maybe you need to make it black and white to suggest that it's older.
Do you think that'll work? Let's give it a try.
Yeah, I mean, maybe these warships. Yeah, no, maybe you could just use one of those warships, but bring the saturation down on the clip.
Sorry, I misunderstood what you meant. Okay.
No, it's fine. Yeah, because maybe, guys, you know, these warships will be a bit too modern for World War I. But, you know, if you pick one that doesn't look too modern and then knock the color out of it, then we can pretend that that's a World War I warship.
Let's do that. Go ahead and take the photo. And under effects, FX right here, grayscale. Ta-da.
Yeah.
And if you want to get super fancy, why not? We love to get fancy.
Of course we do.
Let's go to photos. Let's say old paper. Look at all these cool options.
Now we're talking.
Old paper.
Now we're talking.
Like that.
Now we are talking.
And then you go to your blend modes and you say multiply. Woo.
Kyle Webster, he's done it again. Oh.
All right, there it is. Doesn't have to be quite that crazy. We can reduce that opacity a little bit, but you know, why not?
I love that.
So now we need to control the timing, don't we? Because that's definitely not where we want it to be. So let's take our paper, wait for him to stop talking again. There, he's quiet now. And then we'll go to the photo, snap it to that same little spot there. Our video doesn't have to be extending out beyond there. So let's see how that transition goes in 1824. RNLI lifeboats rescued more than 5,000 people during World War I. There it is. All right, great.
That's really cool.
All right, well, you've got the message, you've got the idea, you know how to do it. Now, if you want to add some text and things like that, you absolutely can. And you can animate those in as well. And then you've got yourself a handy little video to share with the world. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks very much, Kyle. I've really enjoyed these activities. And
thank you.
Yeah, I love that adding the paper and then using the blend modes, and it would make anything look old fashioned. I think
It's a pretty good trick.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, thanks to everybody joining us. And again, do share your work. Let us know. Let us take a look at it. And we'll see you again next time. And we'll be back soon, right?
Great. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll see you in a bit. I think our next live streams are going to be for Safer Internet Day. So the week of Safer Internet Day, guys, we're going to have live streams for you on the Tuesday, the Wednesday, and the Thursday. We are going big on Safer Internet Day week. Safer Internet Day week. That makes sense. All right, fine. Hwyl fawr. Good afternoon. Have a great end to your week, guys, the rest of your week, and we'll see you on the next live stream. Bye for now.
Ciao for now.